As he comes out for the second half of his debut for Lamine Sakho. No changes by either manager during the half-time interval as Leeds United prepare to get the second half underway. Less than 2 years ago, they led the Premiership for several weeks. They finished third, and in the same period, they were semi-finalists in the Champions League and the UEFA Cup. The club's fall from grace has been as fast and spectacular as any I can remember in recent times. But this is a new era, with a new man in charge, of course, some new players as well. And I think that first 45 minutes will have given the home fans more cause for optimism than they had before the ball was kicked for the first time in anger. Here's Robert for Newcastle. Great run, but a very lightweight shot at the end of it. And immediately, Sakho in action again. And a little incident off the ball involving Boyer and Matteo. Here's Viduka. Free kick. Wonderfully adept touch, hasn't he, for such an enormous man. Matteo. Kelly's come in from the right-hand side, and a good ball for Smith. Headed away by Woodgate.
I think it's an important start to the second half for both sides. I think that Bobby Robson would have been saying to his side, we've got to step up the pace a little bit more. I think we've got to be a little bit more forceful from an attacking point of view. And I'm sure Peter Reid will be saying, hey, listen, pretty much the same again, chaps. He really did well in that first 45 minutes. They were nice and bright, nice and lively, especially this fella, Sakho. And it looks as if Peter's found a real find there.
And he's cleverly won the first corner of the second half for Leeds. Trying to block the view of Shay Given. Just over the head of Radaby. Wilcox couldn't keep it in. Goal kick. So Bobby Robson now entering his 36th year in management, and would you believe he faced Leeds in his very first game in charge, then he was given the Fulham job back in 1968 and lost 5-0 to them.
Not a bad career since, has he?
No, he recovered from that blow, didn't he? 70 now. Goal kick.
I know when I spoke to Peter during the summer, he was very desperate to bring in Kevin Blackwell from Sheffield United, and I think that a lot of people felt that Blackwell had a huge impact at Sheffield United given the success that they had last season. And I know so far Peter's absolutely delighted with his new number 2.
And with his new number 10, Sakho. Oddly enough, he did have one of his backroom team at Sunderland, Bobby Saxton, a real character whose nickname was Sakho, and I'm not quite sure if Peter Reid can get used to calling his new French import by the same name.
Look very similar, don't they?
I think there's a couple of stone difference. But he's certainly made an instant impact with the home crowd here. Smith, Viduka, won back well by Bernard. The Frenchman's given it away. Smith. Could have tested Given that. Oh yeah. And now Dyer. Well won back by Radaby.
I think he's another feature of this Leeds United season, because if they can keep Lucas Radaby fit, he's an integral part of their success defensively, because he's such a great organiser. He's got so much respect from everybody here on the playing staff at Leeds.
Shearer. Good challenge from Johnson, but it's spun kindly for Bellamy. And now for Robert. Speed. Smith. hunting down the ball at every opportunity. Got a little bit carried away there, but well, be cautioned for that final challenge. There's nothing wrong with the earlier two, but that one was a bit late.
I think he feels a little bit hard done by. I think that he felt that he got the ball and he may well have carried through and got Bernard at the same time. It was very tight towards the touchline. We know how committed Alan Smith is. Yeah, it's clearly a foul. And I think he's pleading his innocence to say that he was going for the ball, but it's not quite enough. It's certainly not going to be quite enough in the eyes of Alan Wiley.
Well, it's a pretty stern lecture. Will it end with a yellow card? No.
Well, again, the referee being very sensible. I think he's given Smith the benefit of the doubt. Perhaps his first rash tackle. I talked about this a little bit earlier. If he can discipline himself and just concentrating on the football side of his game, then he's a fine young player.
The home fans not convinced that Bernard is really injured, but if they could see the pictures you're seeing now, I think they might change their mind. Robert swings the free kick in towards Bellamy. Radaby's clearance finds Viduka. Olivier Bernard still off the pitch, but they want to bring him on again. Shearer, good ball for Bellamy, and a foul on Shearer as he played it away. Wins a free kick for Newcastle. It's quite a long way out. I don't know whether Shearer will regard this as a scoring opportunity.
I think either Alan Shearer or Laurent Robert will fancy their chances from this distance. We've seen in the past neither of them are shy to take an opportunity like this on. Both have got the ability to beat goalkeeper from this range.
Robinson might know what to expect. Whether he can deal with it is another matter. Well, it was surely not 10 yards away when Morris came out and made that block. Smith again, giving no time on the ball to opponents. Looked like a handball by Bellamy, who's got himself involved in a little bit of nonsense with Seth Johnson, two fiery characters.
Jonathan Woodgate's done very well, you know, he just stepped in between both players. He could see that it was going to get out of hand. You know, neither of them are shrinking violets, are they? Johnson and Bellamy, and it's still going on.
And Johnson has been cautioned, remember. Once again, you can only admire the way Mr. Wiley has dealt with these incidents rather than flashing yellow cards. Common sense has prevailed. It's a Newcastle throw. Speed missed the header and gets another chance, but happy for the throw. Tough start Newcastle face. They're home to Manchester United next Saturday. They also face Arsenal away in September. Their Champions League campaign continuing as well, of course, or at least they hope it'll continue into the real thing. 1-0 up from the first leg of their qualifier against Partizan.
Well, we were talking about at half-time, weren't we? Perhaps the travel back during the course of the week. You know, they look a little bit sluggish at the moment, you know, Newcastle United. They haven't got that same verve and pace to their game that we saw on the majority of the occasions last year, and I think Leeds have taken advantage of that.
Smith trying to do just that. Yes, Newcastle had a tough match on Wednesday night, flew back after the game, didn't get back to the northeast till the early hours of Thursday morning. Leeds United have just had a week on the training ground. Dyer. Robert. Oh, what a cross. Can he reach it though, Boya? No. Matteo there ahead of him. And Matteo had a little swing at his former clubmate there. I must say, Bowie has kept control of his emotions pretty well so far.
That's important, and I think Peter Reid is just up off the bench very, very quickly there and saying to Dominic Matteo, just calm down, you know, you're the captain of the side. You don't need to get involved in situations like that.
Bellamy. Clever ball. Here is Bowie. Oh, great block by Matteo. And he's hurt himself doing it. Still lying on the ground as the attack goes on.
Well, they need to get the ball out of play because he really is struggling. You know, he's no stranger to injuries, Dominic Matteo.
But ironically, Leeds are building a promising attack. Matteo is still lying on the ground at the other end of the field. Well, Leeds had the opportunity to put the ball out and didn't, so you can't really fault Newcastle for carrying on here. Robert. Bellamy is back on his feet now, but can he make a proper challenge? He did.
Well, he just made an incredible recovery, Dominic Matteo, because moments earlier he was prone inside his own box, and he's really got to just get a grip of things at the moment. The former Liverpool player, you know, he got involved earlier with Bowyer. Then he gets involved with a great challenge when Bowyer looked as if he was odds-on to score. It looks as if he's seriously injured, looks as if he's going to be down for a while, and then he's back up on his feet, and then he's looking to get involved with Craig Bellamy, but it's a fabulous ball. You can see there that Bowyer gets the other side of him, and he just throws himself. And perhaps just the awkwardness of that fall resulted in perhaps a tweak of the ankle, not quite sure, but he was down for an awful long time.
Matteo had another operation in the summer on his knee problem, also had an ankle injury as well, which prevented him from playing in most of the pre-season games. And once again, Mr. Wiley has decided that a ticking off was sufficient. I think if Matteo or Bellamy crosses his path again, though, the cards will have to come out.
Which is how it should be. Which is definitely how it should be.
Oh, a mistake has given it to Smith. Newcastle have shot themselves in the foot. Alan Smith gives Leeds United the lead.
Well, there's nothing more than he deserved, Alan Smith. He really has led the line superbly well, much to the adulation of his teammates and his fans, but I'm afraid Olivier Bernard is the culprit. And he knows, and his teammates know, and they're just consoling him. And it's moments like that can just change the course of a football match. But they've been together, they've been a unit, Leeds United. They've scrapped, they've battled, and it really is about chasing hopeless causes. And that's exactly what Alan Smith did. He just chased the hopeless cause. You know, 9 times out of 10, Olivier Bernard would have got that ball back to his goalkeeper. But Smith reads the situation, one touch, and the second touch is through Shay Given's legs and in the back of the net. It's a great finish, and he's deserved that goal.
Shearer at the other end. Robert's shot. Well, as you mentioned, Alan Smith is certainly not a prolific goal scorer. He's only averaged about half a dozen goals a season in the last 3 years. Just scored 9 in 43 appearances last season. Off and running for the new campaign, and so are Leeds.
I think we're going to see Didier Dummy. I don't think that Dominic Matteo is going to continue. And, well, this is an important period for both sides. We said that, really, didn't we, when Newcastle scored the first goal.
More danger. I wonder if Pienaar is still feeling the injury from that earlier knock, and maybe that's contributed to his rather uncertain couple of minutes here.
Oh, what an incredible scoreline. You know, what odds would you have got after almost an hour of this football match that Leeds will be leading the game, given the problems that they've had pre-season, given how well Newcastle have looked?
Newcastle defended that corner well.
There seems to be a greater passion, doesn't there, about Leeds United? It's understandable, you know, they're the home side. And I think they're the underdog today. They've come into this game and everybody felt that Newcastle would come and win this match. Well, you know, 1 or 2 people out there are just proving the doubters wrong.
And oddly enough, even last season when they came so close to relegation, scoring goals wasn't really Leeds United's problem. They managed 58 in the Premiership. Only the top 5 clubs could better that record, but they conceded 57, and that's their problem. Domi, a former Newcastle United player, is going to come on now for the other new man, Lamine Sacco, who goes off quite literally to a standing ovation. Listen to this. Peter Reid will be delighted with one new player's contribution, and now another, a more defensive-minded player. Didier Domi takes Sacco's place on the left. Player who, of course, spent over 2 years at Newcastle United, made over 50 appearances for them. Viduka's header. Smith is well placed in the middle again here. Wilcox on the ball. Given away by the former Blackburn man. Robert showing great pace and control. Morris with the tackle. If Peter Reid wanted to see some steel from his players, they couldn't have answered the question any better than they have so far. Sacco, incidentally, has gone off because of a calf problem. But what a very good debut he's had. Dyer. Robert. Got his feet taken by Morris.
There's certainly been one or two situations that have just spilled over a little bit, and as we've said all along, the referee has handled it superbly well. But again, it's another opportunity from that distance that Alan Shearer or Laurent Robert loves to maybe take a pop on goal.
He'll do well to get the ball off Shearer. But it's looking like it's shaping up, perhaps, for Robert. Maybe it's just a little decoy. It isn't. Robert will take it. And it wasn't so far over.
He's slightly disappointed not to hit the target from this distance. But so far so good for Leeds United, and this is where they need to keep together. And we talked about them having a good shape and a good structure to their performance. Well, over an hour gone now, and they've shown that. They've stayed together. They look very fit, and they certainly look up for the battle.
O'Brien's clearance. Foul by Johnson. Bernard seems to have recovered from the injury, if not from the mistake that led to Alan Smith's goal. Dyer. One back by Mattia. Now Domi being booed now by the visiting fans.
He's a little bit unfortunate, Domi, but we talked about him being a more defensive-minded player, and I think one thing Leeds are going to have to be careful about is just not to sit back and allow Newcastle to come at them, because, you know, the visitors have got plenty of quality in their side, and they're more than capable of scoring goals.
Camera has not obviously been as spectacular as Sacco, but nonetheless his performance will be very encouraging to Peter Reid. He hasn't done anything wrong.
He's been very effective, and I think you can see he's got a lot of pace. One of the things that Peter was talking about him beforehand was saying he's very used to playing a man-on-man type of system in France, you know, and I think that one of those worries were whether he would just get drawn out of position. Well, that hasn't happened. Him and Radaby have stuck together, and they've looked very good as a unit so far.
Leeds 2-1 in front. Bernard has given it away. He really is having a torrid time at the moment. Viduka. Robert back to help his rather beleaguered French teammate. Speed. Hughes. This is Boya. Shearer. Well, the combination of Johnson and Morris in midfield have worked very hard for Leeds today. But their hard work is far from done yet. Robert. Another spectacular effort from Robert, but He's not getting any nearer the target.
Well, we talked about him being the player that has the most strikes in the Premier League last season. Well, I think he's going to be odds on this year, the way that this game has started. Looks a bit pensive, doesn't it, Sir Bobby? He won't be altogether happy with his team's performance, but he'll know that Leeds have been up for the task. You know, they've battled his side very well, made it very difficult. Perhaps contemplating changes. The player that scored the goal during midweek, Solano, potentially could bring him on.
Alan Shearer. Bowyer picks out Hughes. Dyer, named in the England squad. Robert. Shearer coming in on the back post, won the header, but the linesman's flag. I can only imagine for a foul by Shearer. I don't know whether Bellamy could have been offside, but anyway, it's a free kick to Leeds.
Yeah, I think it was Bellamy offside, I think, as Alan Shearer won that header. But again, Robert just slinging a long ball in from a long distance out, and as you can see there, Shearer's head it, and Craig Bellamy just the wrong side, I think.
Clearance by O'Brien to Bowyer. Shearer. Well played, Johnson. Viduka. Again, silky skills, but overdid it. Bellamy onside. Well, there appears to be no great love lost between Dominic Matteo and Craig Bellamy. And another late challenge by Morris. That was unnecessary, and that will have tried even Mr. Wiley's patience.
Yeah, you can have no doubts about that, can he? Yeah, I said to Reedy that there's one thing, his side probably won't get into Europe via the Fair Play League this year with Alexa Jody Morris and Seth Johnson in the middle of midfield. And you can see by challenges like that, I think that's just criminal, really. And you know, it's about making sure that you keep focused. You know, they've done so well, Leeds United, to get to this point. They're 2-1 ahead. You don't really want to see your players making challenges like that, because you know it's going to lead to yellow cards and perhaps ultimately red cards, and then you're conceding free kicks in dangerous areas.
Taken this one by Robert, cleared by Radaby. 3 cautions now for Leeds. They had 69 last season. Only Birmingham a worse record. Here's speed. Well saved, Robinson.
Well, they got lucky, didn't they? They got lucky, Leeds United. There's Gary Speed, trademark run into the box. You can see there, Dominic Matteo dropping very deep, and it just goes beyond the Newcastle United midfield player. But full marks to Paul Robinson. He had to be brave, he had to be agile.
Hold it up. No passing, Dave.
Shearer in strongly with Kelly. And the throw, as you can see, has gone Leeds' way.
I think Leeds are going to have to be just a little bit careful. They don't take their foot off the gas too much. I think they're quite happy to allow Newcastle plenty of possession. You know, it's warm out there. It's the first game of the season, and the first real competitive game of the season. And 1 or 2 players feeling it.
Viduka. Smith will keep going here. Leeds lost 19 of their 38 league games last season. Only the bottom 2, West Brom and Sunderland, suffered more defeats. You can get the winning habit in football, you can also get the losing habit. Hughes. Matteo in a tangle with Dyer, Johnson rather, in a tangle, and it's a lovely ball for Hughes. Shearer far post, his knockback. And a poor effort in the end. Oh, you're disappointed with that.
Again, it's an example, though, isn't it? They're getting closer and closer, Newcastle, because they're getting time, they're getting room. It's an opportunity to get more players forward. Just look at the amount of black and white shirts that are in the box. And I think that's fairly evident now of the amount of space that Leeds United are allowing them, and well, certainly having more of the share of goal attempts. And now Sir Bobby looking to make changes, just freshening things up. Can they get that equaliser?
Smith has found himself in the clear again, almost. Woodgate denying it. Hughes. Well, Smith has worked so hard today. He's been a shining example to the rest of his teammates. 20 minutes to go. Boya. Now Domia's caught him.
Well, it certainly doesn't look as if the Frenchman's going to get the benefit of the doubt. And Alan Wiley thinks enough's enough and catches Lee Bowyer running about the left ankle. And this is an opportunity for the Leeds manager just to get one or two instructions onto the field now. And he's got the likes of Seth Johnson, Alan Smith, Mark Viduka, and it's important that they take on board what their manager's saying to them and they stay disciplined. And can they see this remaining period out? Because, well, what a fantastic boost this would be if they can come away from a match against Newcastle United, one of the favourites to go close in the Premiership this season with 3 points.
Robert on another mazy run. Comes out to speed. Now Bernard. Carries speed again. Away by Radovi. This is Domi for Leeds. Viduka. Matteo got that one wrong. No way forward for Woodgate. Hughes. Domi came in with a late burst again. Good ball by Bowyer, but it was well read by Kamala. Viduka. Offside is the verdict, and Newcastle are going to make a double substitution now. So Bobby, with all his experience, never afraid to gamble, and I guess that's what it is at this stage. Genus and Amiobi are going to come on. Robert in possession. Dyer. Bernard. That's wasteful.
He certainly had one of those days, doesn't he? You do feel sorry for the Frenchman. Nothing he seems to have done has come off well for him today. And this is the substitutions that were expected.
Jermaine Genus, who's in the England under-21 squad to face Croatia at Upton Park on Tuesday, and so too the man who's coming on alongside him, Shola Amiobi. Lee Bowyer going off to, well, I guess you wouldn't really call it a warm reception.
Not even lukewarm.
And probably Olivier Bernard, yes, to save him from further punishment, I think you could say. Two excellent players to be able to bring off the bench. And here's the thing: they haven't seen this far in proper competitive action for a long time. Wilcox comes off, and David Batty will come on for his first Premiership appearance for 16 months. He didn't play a single game last season. This his 360th appearance for the club he loves. And he, of course, continues the old boys angle. He was 3 years a Newcastle player, played over 100 times for them.
What an ovation he got from the Newcastle fans, and it looks as if David Batty now just stiffening up the midfield. He'll play 5 across that midfield. Alan Smith will go into a wide right position, just leave Mark Viduka up front on his own, and they're just going to try and contain and see out the remaining 15 minutes or so of this football match, Leeds.
Bellamy. Come out to Dyer. It's a good ball. Amiobi's offside, I think, and Genius, who headed it in.
There's no complaints, was there, from the Newcastle players, and they knew Jermaine Genius there. Well, it was close, wasn't it? Very, very close indeed, but just enough. Just send Craig Bellamy to this right-hand side, and Amiobi will play alongside Alan Shearer down the middle, and hope that Bellamy's pace will get them in behind Dominic Matteo. Matteo just struggling a little wee bit since that injury. It should be an interesting battle between those two, because we've seen already they've had one or two spats in this game.
Here's Amiobi. It was an excellent run by the substitute, and he's won a corner. Usual huge travelling support. The Toon Army willing an equaliser here. Dyer. Genius. Back out again to Laurent Robert. Shearer! Oh! You really would have expected a goal.
No, he did very well, didn't he, Alan Shearer? You know, trademark position, almost a trademark header. He just drifts towards the far post, finds himself between two players. There's Camara and Matteo, and you'd have thought that they might have just had that height to deal with that situation. Just narrowly wide.
Top scorer in each of his 7 seasons on Tyneside, Shearer. And, of course, already off the mark for this new campaign. But his team are losing. Batty. On to Johnson. Paducah did well. Domi. And on to Smith. Will clash with O'Brien, and the Newcastle man was the winner there. Very calm play by Woodgate. Now speed. Leeds with Johnson, Batty and Morris all in midfield. It's going to be pretty competitive in that part of the pitch. Robert, Amiobi. Good football from Newcastle United. Sweeping move. Bellamy. Dyer just got closed down quickly by Batty. Still probing. They kept the ball for so long in this move. Look how many Leeds players are behind the ball, though. Shearer. Good one for Dyer. Can he get there? Excellent defending. Superb play by Lucas Radebe.
Got nothing to hit, though, Alan. That's the problem. When you play one up front, everybody's getting behind the ball, encouraging lots of Newcastle pressure. It'll be a fascinating end of this game now.
Amiobi. Bellamy. Shearer is far post. On to Hughes. Ball. And he knows it.
Well, the way that Leeds are set up, it's really going to give Newcastle United plenty of opportunities to get forward.
Well, can I remind you that on Sky Sports 1, a little later this afternoon, Liverpool played Chelsea at Anfield. What a fixture to kick off the new season on Merseyside. That match starts at 5 minutes past 4. 12 minutes to go here in what's been a fascinating game throughout. Newcastle with Manchester United to come at St James's Park next week. Would really want something out of this game if they can. Morris.
Sorry down, is he, for his goal-scoring ability, Jody Morris, but he's put in a great shift this afternoon. You know, he's protected the back four really well. I think him and Seth Johnson, certainly unsung heroes, but they've all battled for their manager. You know, they really have done themselves incredibly proud, and well, Newcastle may well have had the lion's share of possession. You know, the scoreline at the moment He's reading quite surprisingly Leeds United 2, Newcastle 1.
Morris, it's a lovely ball, well read by Hughes. Rather like Leeds, scoring goals is not a problem for Newcastle. They got a healthy 63 last season, and they failed to score only once in their last 27 Premiership matches, but they too do tend to concede goals. Dyer. Bellamy. Good cross, Shearer on the far post, speed behind him. Splendid one-handed save by Robinson. But it's all Newcastle pressure at the moment, with now 10 minutes remaining.
Well, they need an outlet, don't they, Leeds United? It's very difficult for them. They're playing the ball at the moment, and they're allowed to play the ball. But really, when they get their head up, there's nothing really to hit in an advanced position.
Viduka, that lone man they can seek out. Domi, Morris.
Oh, well played, very clever. Kept possession well, got themselves a free kick. It gets everybody up the field.
Johnson's kick early, looking for Viduka.
Well, this is the problem, really, you know, when you're giving the opposition plenty of possession, and in this case, Newcastle United, you don't want to see the likes of Alan Shearer and Gary Speed looking to head balls at the far post, because both prolific headers of the ball.
This is Dyer. Amiobi. O'Brien, keep your shape is the advice to the Leeds players from their bench, and they've done that very well since they took the lead. Kieran Dyer. Genus alongside him. On to Bellamy. Genus again. Gary Speed tries the cross, and Radaby dealt with it. Oh, well played, Smith. Morris has got no one in an advanced position other than the man on the ball now, Viduka.
I think the big fella's just got to get in the corner, try and waste some time. This is one thing, there's not many players in white shirts going to try and support him.
Well, we can be certain that Newcastle will enjoy a lot of possession in the closing 8 minutes here. What we can't be certain of is whether they'll make best use of it. Hughes. That's a much better cross. Shearer! Oh, an amazing stop right on the goal line by Lucas Radaby.
Well, they call him the Chief. No wonder why. Absolutely brilliant by Lucas Radaby. How did that not go in?
The coolest man around. Kelly wins it back. Batting, Robert in quickly.
Oh, this is a fabulous chance. And we talked about the possession, we talked about the crosses coming in from wide areas, and we certainly talked about the quality of Alan Shearer's heading skills, and absolutely brilliant by the Leeds United centre-back Lucas Radaby.
And if the header hadn't gone in, Genus was surely in a position to force the ball over the line. Laurent Robert is coming off to be replaced by Nobby Solano, who, by the way, has got a very good scoring record against Leeds. 4 goals in his 7 previous Premiership matches against them. Header by Genus, then by Speed. The Leeds tactics plain to see now. With 6 minutes to go, they're just intent on holding on to their lead rather than trying to build on it. Genus. short, and with Smith around, it was never going to be an easy ball, and he and Gary Speed have a little friendly spat.
Well, that's a sense of his maturity, isn't it? You know, he hasn't reacted to that situation. And he knows at the moment his team need him. He's now having to play wide right instead of down the middle, where he's done a brilliant job for his side. And Leeds are having to play this way, Alan. You know, they have no alternative. You know, Peter Reid knows that, you know, they're desperate to kick off with 3 points. A lot of people tell you in the game, you know, try not to lose your first game. Well, at the moment, Leeds are trying not to lose their first game, and Newcastle are a very good side.
And Hughes has conceded a corner, just what Leeds United need at this stage. Well, a lot of stories, as I mentioned in the Sunday papers, that the chairman might be in a position where Smith has to be the latest big-name departure. That would be catastrophic for Leeds. Good ball in by Morris, was it? Yes, Smith made it into a good ball. Oh, well played. Those long legs of Amiobi carrying him out of trouble and into a threatening position. And a good ball for Bellamy now. Genius is in the middle, so is Solano. Dyer. Ambitious.
Well, it was a good opportunity, wasn't it, for Newcastle United? It actually came from a Leeds United corner. And Leeds had managed to get 1 or 2 extra players in a more advanced position, and it very nearly got caught out. And you can see Peter Reid there just saying, keep your shape, especially in midfield. Keep that 5. Try and protect the back 4.
I'm sure everyone will remember that last season Newcastle had a fabulous record in their Premiership games following Champions League action. They were unbeaten in 14 Premier games following European matches. Maybe that record's about to end here today. Amiobi. Clearance by Domi. They're clinging on now, Leeds. Hughes finds Solano. Foul. It gives Newcastle a golden opportunity to get the ball in that Leeds penalty area. The free kick's gone short to Hughes. Now in it goes. And it's come to Shearer! Cometh the hour, cometh the man. How often have we said that? The skipper delivers when it matters yet again.
Well, they'll get more and more of the ball, Newcastle United, putting more and more pressure on Leeds, but I was saying earlier how well the 2 centre-backs for Leeds United were looking as a pair. You know, they looked together, they had a good understanding, but when this ball comes into the box, it all goes horribly wrong. You can see them both going for the same ball, and when that ball drops at the feet of one player, there's one thing Leeds United fans won't want to see, it's Alan Shearer, and he makes no mistake in situations like that. You can see there the 2 centre-backs get it totally wrong, and Shearer makes them pay.
Well, Alan Shearer scored a hat-trick on this ground for Blackburn Rovers 10 years ago. Can he repeat the feat? Because now, suddenly, Leeds United must be fearing defeat. A couple of minutes of normal time, whatever Mr. Wiley decides to add for stoppages, and there have been a fair number of substitutions as well. The impetus is certainly with the visitors now. And he knows it, how quickly this game can change.
Well, they weren't far away, were they, from a memorable result, and now it'll feel like a massive defeat, even if they draw this game. But they've got to keep going. You know, they've got to keep showing those battling qualities. But full credit to Newcastle United. You know, that's why they will be challenging for honours at the end of the season, because they've got character in their team. The game looked as if it was running away from them, but they really got a goal out of nothing.
Bellamy. The home fans nervously eyeing their watches now. Hughes. Domi wins it back. Batty. On to Morris. A very significant change in mood here now. Domi. That's poor. And those visiting Geordies really believe their team can take all 3 points home. Batty.
Well, they've missed something, haven't they, from the game when Sacco went off. You know, he was giving them that surge on that left-hand side for Leeds, and he was actually taking the game to Newcastle, and he was stretching the visitors, he was forcing them back. They haven't really had that since he's left the field.
Amiobi. Don't think there's any doubt that on the balance of play, Newcastle deserved something from this game, but Leeds, as you say, were so close. Dyer. Solano. Shearer's there again. Brilliant defending this time by Camera. Solano back in. Smith back defending. 4 minutes of stoppage time, I understand, and that's significant perhaps as Bellamy takes on the Leeds defence and wins a corner.
Well, can they make it through the last 4 minutes? It really has been a tense affair.
Bellamy's had something to say to the referee there, and he really has literally talked himself into trouble. That's so unnecessary. They've got the corner. Why don't you just zip it? Smith it was who headed it away. Hughes. Shearer. On to Amiobi. Clever little ball for speed. Shearer, they're queuing up on the back post. Gary Speed. This is Dyer. On to Solano. In towards Amiobi, it's too deep. Goal kick.
They look very tired players, don't they, at the moment, Leeds United. You can see they're looking around, they're just looking for some respite. You know, can somebody get the ball and take it forward and take it away from their own back four, because the ball just seems to be coming back like a magnet towards the Leeds defence.
Well, considering they had that tough game in midweek, Newcastle have lasted the pace exceptionally well. Still around a couple of minutes remaining at Ellen Road. Still time for a winner. Good ball by Hughes out to Solano, and a great ball in by him. Bellamy. This is Shearer. Held it up well. Gary Speed. The captain again. Leeds are now clinging on for dear life here. Woodgate. O'Brien. Into Genus. And on again to Gary Speed. Bellamy takes over. Hughes. Now Amiobi. And the linesman's flag here. A foul by Shola Amiobi. Sherpilling.
You can see those Leeds fans, really, you know, they can't wait for the referee to blow that whistle. You know, points going to be enough for them. They know coming into this game that it was Newcastle United that were the favourites. They were expecting the worst. I think they are in general about the season, but I'm sure they've admired their team's fighting qualities today. You know, they stuck together. And they're going to need that in the coming months.
And Bobby Robson still on that touchline, urging and cajoling his players. Most 70-year-olds would be content with a bit of gardening on a Sunday. Bellamy. Could this be the last throw of the dice for Newcastle United? One back by Leeds. Referee's had a little glance at the watch. Smith hits it as deep as he can. The end of a splendidly entertaining 90 minutes at Ellen Road. Alan Shearer spoiled things for Peter Reid. Great respect shown by the two managers to each other, and I'm sure to their players. That's good to see. The tough Scouser and the amiable Geordie have a lot in common, even though there's so many years between them. And the youngsters too show their respect. Former teammates who played significant roles in their team's performances here today. Alan Smith was excellent. Woodgate, a tower at the back for Newcastle United. Sacco had an absolutely splendid Premiership debut for Leeds United. It was a good game all round. The Duca bringing Leeds level after Alan Shearer had given Newcastle the lead from the penalty spot. Smith firing Leeds in front. Shearer with the late equaliser. A draw, a fair result. Newcastle will feel in terms of chances created. Maybe they deserved all 3 points, but Leeds, for their battling qualities, also deserve to take something out of this game. The Premiership has come up with another winner. The final score here at Ellen Road, Leeds United 2, Newcastle United 2.